In Ukraine, North Korean soldiers are suffering heavy losses. Recently, Kiev captured one such soldier. He was believed to be the first North Korean prisoner of war. That soldier has now died in captivity. But he's not the only one. Pyongyang deployed around 12,000 soldiers to Ukraine. Reports suggest at least 3,000 of them are either dead or injured. What explains these heavy losses? How are North Korean soldiers impacting this war, and can they change the tide in Moscow's favor? Our next report tells you.
In October this year, Seoul came out with a strange report. It said North Korean soldiers were fighting in Russia. No one knew how many there were or what they were planning on doing there, but it meant one thing. Pyongyang had joined Moscow's war in Ukraine. 2 months later, there's a lot more that has come to light about these soldiers. Recently, one of them was captured by Ukraine. He was believed to be the first North Korean prisoner of war. That soldier has now died in captivity. Intel says it was due to serious injuries incurred in the war, and he's not alone. North Korea sent around 10 to 12,000 soldiers to Russia. Reports suggest nearly 3,000 of them have been killed or wounded in the war. But what are these troops doing there? Most of them have been deployed in the Kursk region, the one Ukraine captured from Russia this summer. But the battle over Kursk is not over. And Moscow was hoping these North Korean soldiers would help tip the scales in their favor.
Dear Ukrainians, today there are already preliminary data that the Russians have begun using soldiers from North Korea in the assaults, a noticeable number. The Russians include them in consolidated units and use them in operations in the Kursk region. For now, it is only there, but we have information that they could be deployed on other parts of the front line.
But they don't seem to be their best bet. North Korea has one of the world's largest militaries. Yet none of these soldiers have any experience of real combat. North Korea has not fought in a major war since the 1950s. Plus, these soldiers are very young, mostly in their teens or early 20s. They were all trained in North Korea's mountains, but in Ukraine, they face a completely different landscape. Combine that with malnutrition and poor training, and it's a deadly combo. These North Korean soldiers may have been deployed to the front lines, but they didn't know what would hit them. That meant they suffered heavy losses.
NIS said that North Korean troops lack of experience in drone warfare, and they were mobilized as frontline storm troops in open terrain which they are unfamiliar with.
But what they lack in skills, these troops can make up in numbers and physical tolerance. Most of these troops are from Pyongyang's 11th Corps, which is one of the best units in the country. They may not be great militarily, but they can tolerate physical pain and a high level of psychological torture. Now, neither North Korea nor Russia has talked about these troops. Pyongyang recently mentioned its new alliance with Moscow was effective. But even that statement did not mention the troops. Russia, too, has not directly responded to these reports. Again, no mention of the soldiers. But their silence indicates just one thing. Moscow and Pyongyang are taking their friendship to the next level. First, it was North Korean weapons in Ukraine, and now it's North Korean soldiers. But can North Korea turn the tide in Russia's favor? That remains to be seen.